I am Stephanie at MedSpa Distributors, and I am joined today by Jessica at Skin One Pro. We are going to dive deep into the Skin One Pro, what it is, what it does, how to use it, question and answer, and you'll get to see me and Jessica do a treatment on ourselves. So that'll be a perfect time to see it in real time, ask questions in real time. So I'm going to jump right into it. Jessica, do you want to do a little introduction of you as an esthetician and a little bit of history on the Skin One Pro brand?
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having me. This will be fun.
I know.
It's always fun when we get to hang out, right?
Mhm.
Um, my name is Jessica Cooley. I am founder and CEO of Skin One Pro. We are an at-home nano channeling device that is strictly retailed through professionals. And I did that for a reason, only because professionals know how to educate their clients, understand the serums that are being used, and all of that jazz. I actually created Skin One Pro during COVID, and that was because at the time, I had my own practice, and we were shut down here in South Kakalaki for a good 3 months, something to that effect. And during that time, I had some very loyal clients that were going onto Amazon and getting themselves a Dr. Pin. Don't say the name. But, and then they would in turn kind of come back like, oh my gosh, Jessica, what did I do? I don't understand what my skin is going through right now. Uh, you know, because I can't come in. I just grabbed what looked like what you used. Oh, oh no, no, no. So that actually got me thinking, instead of fighting the system, why not join it, right? So where is the line between professional depth type of channeling and what would be safe enough for them to do at home, right? For maintenance. And I always like to say, it was built by an SD for SDs, but never to replace the SD. Okay, that's the one thing I want to stress more than anything, right? Um, it is not to replace you, it's actually to help enhance what you do in the treatment room. And we also do have treatment provider options. So we do have our own professional protocols with a deeper depth. So your client can literally get a Skin One Pro treatment in the treatment room with the deeper, more aggressive type of treatments, and then can go home and work on areas that say, professional tools can't get to, right? So like the eyelid all the way up to the waterline. Um, and it helps them to understand that just rubbing serums on isn't gonna really do anything, but if they channel it in, mwah, chef's kiss. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's our gig. That's our story.
Perfect. Well, as far as how MedSpa Distributors and Skin One Pro partnership came to be, we've been floating in orbit in the industry for years and years and years. And I have been a user of the Skin One Pro for years and years and years. And the stars needed to align for it to happen. But now we are on board and we can't wait to position this with you guys because as she said, it's made by an esthetician for esthetician. I know you've heard us say that many, many times with the brands that we have. So let's go ahead and dive in, Jessica, of what they get when they purchase a kit. Let's talk about the physical pieces that come in the box.
Sure, sure, sure. Ooh, I got Pam as my Vanna White. I love it. So yeah, when they get the wand itself, it obviously, well, I don't know why it was blurring it out. See, technology. I can't. But so you get the lovely box, and I did this one. This is a sturdy box, and it's got magnetic closure to it. But you get the stand, your two initial tips, right? The charger cord, and then the piece de resistance, right? Your skin wand. Yeah, perfect. Yep. And that is how your clients will receive it from you as well. Um, and we do have two serums. We were actually one of the first devices to remain um, neutral when it comes to brands. And that is because I understand that, you know, every SD is loyal to their brands. So that's why we also work with other brands like Victoria Diane
Mhm.
to ensure that the protocols you're sending your clients home with are good and that they're the actually more than good, they're great. And they're going to get the best benefit and the best bang for their buck that way. So, yeah, we do have two serums, sorry. Um, One is our 24 karat gold, and this one actually has gold foil in it with a carrier of sodium hyaluronate. So it's going to hold 10,000 times its weight in water. So it's uber hydrating, especially when they put it on damp skin. But with the gold foil, it actually absorbs into the skin so they get the true benefit of gold versus like glitter. So, which is in a lot of things to make it look pretty. I get it. Um, and then we also have our Hydra Bright, which is our vitamin C serum. And this one is amazing because it is acne safe because it has lemon peel. We as professionals know that most vitamin C's are going to kind of aggravate acne. And with ours, it doesn't. So it's L-ascorbic acid with um, arbutin as well. So we're attacking hyperpigmentation from both areas. Um, and so if there's ever a question like, well, which serums can I do? You can always try us out. And I specifically formulated them to be channeled in. So they are 1,000% safe for that.
Cool. All
So
right.
yeah,
Oh, all right. So let's see. Let's talk about the difference between the retail tips and the treatment room tips. You mind going over those?
sure. Yep. So our at-home tips are 0.15 millimeters, or sorry, nanometers. Woo! Um, and so that is just enough to trigger that inflammatory response we want within the healing process, right? Because that's where all the magic happens. And with the professional depth, that's going to be 0.25. And that's going to get way down deep. It's going to get the skin to, you know, a more aggressive type of inflammatory response. But that's cool because we know what we're looking at, right? We know how the skin is supposed to respond. And we understand really what's going on during those processes. And with the 0.15, they can't mess anything up. Now, a first time user, you know, may or may not get a little prickly sensation, or what I like to call a little stingle, but you know, extremely temporary, normal side effect. Of course, the pink, you know, that gorgeous pink we all look for, completely temporary, but they can see a difference in just a single use. Um, and that's what I absolutely love because we all want, you know, that instant gratification. And I feel like, you know, with my biased opinion, you know, you get that with skin bonding.
Yeah. So just kind of to recap that, that's what we're doing with the devices. We're creating a very small controlled injury, superficial injury, where the body will respond without that downtime that comes with those deeper, more aggressive microneedling versus nano channeling. So I just wanted to go over that vocabulary too, what we're talking about when we talk about microneedling versus nano channeling. Microneedling is usually needles at a much deeper depth, where here we're staying nano, smaller, closer to the surface. So I just wanted to hit on those two words just as they're not interchangeable. It's two separate things. Yep.
Yes, yes. And I always like to say too, you know, with when I'm explaining it, right? So when you have a needled cartridge, regardless of the depth that you're using, it will always be referred to as needling because that's the mechanism that you're using, right? So you're getting that straight down um, effect or the controlled inflammation and injury that you're looking for, right? And then with channeling or infusing, again, another term, depending on what company you ask, right? One sounds more bougie than the other. But with with that, it's just pyramids. So it's creating channel ways for serums to get in deeper, getting those ingredients deeper. It's allowing the skin to understand, like, hey, I need this further down. And that's why we don't want to use like oils or cream based serums, just because those are made for barrier repair. They are made to be absorbed slowly. And when you use water based serums or like a gel consistency, then you're really, you know, putting something deeper in the skin that's meant to go deeper into the skin.
Mhm.
Proof that
So
it is
yeah.
also encouraging collagen production is
Yes. Yep.
noteworthy.
And that's where our 3 speeds come in. So the first speed is going to be for your newcomers, or for somebody just looking for that nice exfoliation.
Well,
And
how do we get to the speeds? We just press the
so you
button.
just hold the button down. Yep. See,
Okay.
Pam's ahead of me.
Ah, sorry.
There you go. So blue is going to be your first speed. It automatically goes to your first speed. And then that's going to be exfoliating. Your second speed, or the green speed, is going to be exfoliation plus product penetration. Okay. So it's going to start infusing or channeling in those serums. And then the third speed is where now we're really inciting that inflammation. And yep, red
But
speed.
if you can see that red, yes.
um, and triggering that collagen repair, which of course we all love. So, and there, I like to tell people about zoning, right? So I always recommend doing the forehead first, because the forehead is nothing but skin and skull, right? And it doesn't matter what you do on the forehead, it's always going to be uncomfortable or annoying, one of the two. And so you can do speeds 1 or 2 on the forehead. Um, and then you always will be on level 1 for your eyelids. And that's strictly because of just how thin and delicate it is. Because you're also going to get great lymphatic drainage with it too, just with your movement. And then under eyes, you can do 1 or 2. And then the meatier parts of the face, 2 or 3. And you still want to work up to the higher speeds too.
Mhm.
So the
I
first time
always
I use it, I should just be on 1. Just
Do
for
what?
the first time I use it, I'm just going to be on the 1, right?
Yes.
The blue,
Yes.
right?
And that's just a test run, to see what it feels like, to see how your skin is going to react. Because again, everybody's skin is different. That's why, in our protocols for both at home use and in treatment, I don't say how long to do it, or I don't say how many passes to do, because as we all know, we're all professionals. Everybody's skin is going to be different. And, you don't want to have somebody kind of left out because, oh, well, the protocol says only do 2 passes, but they never reacted to it because, say, maybe they're a more advanced client, right? And their skin's just laughing at you like, that's all you got? What? So, yep. So that's why I teach about just wait till you get a pink. So that could happen on the first pass with somebody, but then it could be, you know, 10 passes with somebody else. So,
And I'm just going to tell the truth and be honest. I did not follow the just stay on green advice. Don't be me. Don't be me. First, first time, keep it low. I get it. As an esthetician, I was like, I got this. I can be aggressive. I happened. very superficial scratch marks. And I did because I went with a 3 on my forehead and I had some evidence of a little aggressiveness right here. I'm telling you this so that you won't do it.
It's a
Know that we're
cautionary
all
tale.
estheticians and we can do it. How many times have I sent people, even with their chemical peels, it's like, okay, now I want you to start out this way, right? And they just like, I'll put the 70% on. Oh, it's fine. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. I am the same way. All of our protocols I have tested on myself before I test on others, which, okay, AKA my family. So, but yeah, there's like right now we're trying out a protocol with another company who has a chemical peel. And I absolutely love the mixture of wanding with peeling. And because it's beautiful results, but you have to be prepared for the extra space because the way we do it, you channel first and then you peel. And this is mainly because now you have those channels and now you have that ability to get the peel down quick and super deep. Um, yeah, versus the
Right.
other way around. So the skin is already sensitized when you peel, and it just never made sense to me personally. Call me crazy, but it only made sense to, to channel first and then
Just
peel.
remember that peel is going
But
to react
yeah,
more. Let's say it was a 10%, it may act like it's a 20% because of the fact of
yes,
it being channeled in.
yes,
So
yeah.
That's a good point to bring
So
up
you're,
too when you're selecting serums as well. I know we're talking about peels, but serums too, we want to keep
yeah,
those in the healing beneficial range versus those heavy acids and things for the same reason. We wouldn't want to push a heavy acid serum down deeper and be more aggressive, say a vitamin A, something like that. We would just
right.
want to be, it's all about proper selection, which again is why we wanted to position it with estheticians that know their product lines, know their clients, and know how to put those two together.
correct.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And we work amazing with your vitamin A's, but you'd have to alternate, right? So you wouldn't do your vitamin A, which is a peeling agent, with your skin wand night, right? But you can do it the next night,
Oh yeah.
so you can flippy floppy. Um, I always, kind of recommend you, the professional, know like the strength of a glycolic peel or sorry, serum that you have. That one, you have to kind of use your own judgment, but I always say err on the side of caution when it comes to glycolic and vitamin A.
Yeah, and just on that, I've honestly, with my own personal experience, found that less aggressive serums are more. I've gotten more mileage out of my calming, plumping serums than say some of my more aggressive serums. So yeah, being a little more conservative is kind of where the results come from with this device sometimes too.
For home use.
Definitely, definitely. And and I always because I'm like you, Stephanie, like let's go balls to the wall. Let's see what happens, right? You start, pushing buttons just to find out. But at the same time, yes, I 1,000% agree. Um, I've gotten a lot more of a positive reaction, especially from other SDs and or clients that have bought Skinwad that were just using something as simple as like um, an easy vitamin C with hyaluronic or just our 24 karat gold, you know, because sometimes just easy does it.
hmm
Mhm.
We'll have a level 2 class sometime. Once we'll get over
Oh,
level
yeah.
1, get comfortable with it, and we'll have a skin one level 2.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Level two are just in the procedure room versus
hmm
what you would do, what taking and selling it to your clients to use. So
Yes.
toothbrush for
Yep.
home, our
Huh?
toothbrush for home, our deep cleaning is my way I always like to say it, so it's like we still want them to use something at home, but then when it's in our hands, we're checking everything else out with the skin and we can go a little bit
Hmm.
more aggressively, so that can all be done.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so I guess now, Jessica, you and I will prep for our simultaneous demos here, get a little tips and tricks from
Yeah.
both of us.
Yes. So this is really cool device, right? Again, biased opinion, but um, there are multiple ways that it can be used. So it's not just the face. Um, I don't know if
Which that's a
everybody went
question.
to the esthetician, etc. event, which was amazing. And I talked about our the tattoo class. Because yes, I am a art collector, as I like to call people who are heavily tattooed. And we need to care for those. So there's, you can do it tattoos, you can do it on your hands, because we know, right? The neck and hands will give your age away before your face does, especially if you just stop at the jawline. You can do it, yep, all the way down onto the décolleté and chest area. If you've got ashy elbows, go ahead, do it on your elbows, your knees. Uh, I do recommend, if you're using it for body, to only use one tip and then replace it. Don't use it on your body and then your face. Um, so yeah, you can just use it anywhere, and it
That's so
works.
cute.
Let's talk about, oh, go ahead, Pam.
I had a couple Estes that asked me, they said, can we use it with a hair serum for hair growth?
Yes.
So that's a good area. Like if so they're having an area where they need to do that, they can put their hair serum down and use the device, correct?
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. As long as the hair
Absolutely.
serum isn't oil.
Is it an oil or is it not an oil? Did you say?
Is
Isn't
not.
Is
not.
not
Yeah.
an oil. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, totally can. And it's going to help, clean off that scalp and, um, you know, help trigger that hair growth again. Hmm.
All you, Stephanie. Oh, did Stephanie freeze on us?
I think she did.
There we go. Are we back now?
She's back.
There
Yes.
you are.
I'm here. Yeah, I we're gone for like 10 seconds, but now you're back. All right, perfect.
Notice she put her headband on the correct way where she's used it back to hold her hair back. See there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That blew my mind when I learned about that. I was like, it's not little cute bunny ears. Oh,
Yeah.
it's actually functional.
It's functional. Yes.
Yep, I love it. But yeah, I like to spray first with the one of the Hail and Hush sprays.
Same.
Yay! Just because I don't know.
Fresh breeze or mist me?
Fresh breeze.
Right?
Fresh breeze.
Yep, fresh breeze.
Awesome. That was so nice of her to
Yes.
give that to everybody that was at our little
Yes, it was.
event.
Yes. Chris is amazing. She's just sunshine in a human form.
She's pretty cool.
Not gonna
Mhm.
drench, just enough, like Jessica said, just enough to dampen the skin so the serums kind of start absorbing, but not just soak right in all the right away.
Right. And it helps to, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but like I hate when my face doesn't have it, all the skincare on and it gets tight and like that dry feeling. I hate that. So yeah, it helps to avoid that. And then you just easily put your tip on. Can y'all see that? Or is it blurring it out? I don't know.
Did that really good.
There it
Just
goes.
screws right on.
Yeah.
And what's happening is the motor in here is making this tip bounce up and down, in and out. And it looks like this. And I don't think we've mentioned what it actually is. They are pyramid shaped. Remind me, Jessica.
Stainless steel.
Yeah. So the
Stainless
little
steel.
plate on there has these little pyramids on there, and it does the ultrasonic vibration, I guess you could call it, at 8,000 miles per hour. No. Reps per minute. There we go. So it's a quickie. Yeah.
All right. Jessica, what are you selecting to infuse in today?
So what I like to do is I actually like to use two. So I put our Hydro Bright all over first. So I'm getting both of them. And then I infuse with the 24 karat. So I just get it on there.
So while her technique, she's applying one serum, letting it kind of absorb, and then as she's doing her treatment, she's applying the second serum in just that area. I was getting a little feedback, oh, my serum soaked all the way in. I hear you, but you got to go around with just the area you're working.
Yeah.
Layering is
Yep.
totally fine. We're still going to get some infusion by anything that's already on there, but for slippage
Yep.
and glide, you're going to want to use serum in the area you're working.
Yes. And if you have like multiple serums in your repertoire, right? If one of them is, you're still going thinnest to thickest. So of course you want to use your thickest as your slip. But if you have like, a very kind of watery consistency, you can do like how I do and just do it all over first. So you're getting everything, channeled in. And which one are you going to use today?
I went with Victoria Deanne collagen gel, and I like to do it in a bowl with a brush.
There you go.
Feels a little
Yep.
good.
I just put it on the back of my hand.
And again, I'm just going to go in the area that we're going to work. I personally like to start at the bottom. Mainly my philosophy is lymphatic drainage. I'm going to get some lymphatic drainage as we go along, moving it out and up. So I agree with the forehead, though. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna flip my routine around and see which way I like it, but there really isn't a wrong answer, just as long as you get the whole face.
Yeah. And you just do it in zones.
Hmm.
So you just, yep, do everything. I'm almost out. But like right now, my husband is using XO8. So we got a lot going on in here.
I
All
like
right.
using the
I always
peptide.
like doing my forehead first, just because to me it's a very annoying sensation.
Fair enough. For me, it's
Um,
because my reasoning for starting down here is also has to come from years and years of microderm training.
ah, I gotcha.
It's just
Yep.
that's where I go.
Yeah. So I'm starting on two because
Because she's done it a time or two.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done it a few times, you know, but I always like to recommend doing swirlies instead of like
Hmm.
hashtags. But again, it's preference. There's no wrong way. So if you have like a deeper type of wrinkling going on, you can do the stamp method also, um, where you just kind of set it there, let it go. Set it there, let it go.
Like right in there around the nose, I like to do this, like little half
Oh
C's
yeah.
right in here. We had a
Yeah.
question for how many passes. It's not really about the number of passes. We're looking for the pink. We're looking for it to pink up. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
going to be able to see it that well, but it's not a red, it's a pink. This side versus this side. And I'm
My
also
light is
looking,
horrible.
it's hard to see on camera. I'll try to get some photos maybe.
Yeah. So you're just wanting to get to the desired pinkness. And this goes for both professional and um, at home.
Shirley had a question about bracing when you're in the treatment room. I would in the treatment room. On myself, I do both. Sometimes I'll brace, sometimes I don't. On myself, I know my pressure, but when I'm doing it on someone else, I do brace.
Yeah. So you'll brace around the eye area mainly, just because you don't want any skipping and you don't want any possible micro tearing. So that's why you also, with the eye area, want to make sure that you um, have some good slip going on.
I will brace up here. I do like bracing on my forehead though, because I
Oh, there
do
you
get
go.
pretty aggressive here because it can take it, and I do my swirls, but I also for my horizontal
Uh-huh.
vertical
Yeah.
creases, I like to get in here and go this way, up and down
Oh, there
really
you go.
quickly on those,
Yep.
and kind of get that hyaluronic serum in there, all that good stuff in there to
Yeah.
pump that up.
Yep.
And
And that's
sometimes I'll do
another thing.
infinity shapes.
You never want to go with a wrinkle, right? And especially if you have the signs of wrinkling starting, right? So I like to explain it, here's a wrinkle. All of this area is already structural collapse, right? So when you pull it up, you're working on what's already collapsed and needs help. So when you don't pull the skin tight on areas of wrinkling, you're just working on something that could possibly collapse again, but it's fine. Um, and if you're working with a wrinkle, you're not really also getting all of the area of collapse. So, um, like the forehead part, bouncing up and down. Swirlies. Swirlies just are easier to me. So,
I think so too. To me, it's just an intuitive motion with it.
yeah.
I don't really even think about
Yep.
it. Just follow the contours. You can see I'm
Yep.
pinking up a little bit there. It's picking up a
There
little
you
bit.
go. Yeah.
Pink, not red, just enough to see that there's some circulation going on.
Yeah. And you may or may not get, a sensation of sandpaper or a cat lick in your face. That's what I like to say.
Mhm.
Although I
Yeah.
get a lot of people going, you let your cat lick your face? If you have cats, you know.
You can go right across the lips here. I put serum on my lips and go right on them, driving that in there. And I especially like to get around the fine lines around the lips. I've been having some
Yes.
great results pushing in hyaluronic in this area.
Oh, yeah. And we have makeup artists that take it with them on shoots. Because your makeup client never comes to you prepared. But they use it on the lips for that temporary plumping, and it helps get all the crusties off.
We had a question to see the tips again. I'll do my very best to have it in focus.
Yeah.
They're little pyramid shaped uh, stainless steel pyramids. It's really hard to get it to show up.
I know. Let me see if I can try. Maybe.
We got to, okay, thanks. Okay, so I guess that was a good enough picture description.
Or they gave up.
So it doesn't scratch like a cat. It can if you're too aggressive with it, but if it does, it is incredibly temporary. I have done it to myself. It is gone within the next day, within 24 hours. But it will come from misuse versus the device.
Yeah, because I mean there are possibilities of overdoing, right? So, um, and overdoing, I mean, like you had said, you can, have little trick marks,
Mhm.
um, or, a little bit more inflammation than was expected. Um, you may or may not see a little bit of poofiness, especially around the eye area, for new folks using it. That's very common also, but again, very temporary.
Question, are you
Um,
gliding or pushing down? That's a question from the audience.
do what?
Gliding along, or
Yes.
are you giving
Yes.
pressure to
So
it?
you really don't need to put pressure on it. You just need to put enough pressure to
Occlusive
keep
face?
contact with the skin, and it kind of just drives itself. Yeah.
It's like a touch and then, yeah, just glide along. Like your microderm, Ruth, very similar to your microderm pressure.
Yeah.
I like to get the tip of my
And
nose right in here.
And the cool part is, your clients, it only takes an extra 5 to 10 minutes to their nighttime routine when they use it. And they can use it up to 3 times a week.
Nikki has a
But
question.
they have to work up to that.
What's the difference? What's the difference? Can you read it, Stephanie?
Yeah, we've got a comparison between Skin One Pro and Regenerate.
That's an awesome question. I actually get that a whole lot, and I understand why. So Regenerate is strictly professional. So they are at a deeper depth. Theirs are also silicone tipped, and ours are not. But yeah, that's basically it. We have, treatment providers that will use Regenerate in the treatment room and then send their clients home with the skin wand. So, I mean, we complement each other,
Yes. I was just gonna say, if you're using one in the treatment room, you could retail the other, and that way just
yes.
make this cycle of nano channeling. So
Yeah.
certainly an
Yep.
option in treatment room and in retail.
Yes. Yep, definitely. So, I mean, as of right now, too, but again, please check with your own state board. We are legal to use with the 0.15 in all 50 states. But again, please check with your state board to make sure. Um, but yeah, and I mean, we complement ProCell, we complement Regenerate, we complement Skin Pin, we complement Doctor Pin if that's the one you choose to use. But your in treatment channeling or infusion, again, depending on what company you're talking to, are going to be deeper in depth. So,
But however, I feel like your pro tip is a good depth professionally.
yes.
It
And
is. It certainly makes it a contender with the other brands we mentioned for the treatment room. Certainly. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And we have protocols. I also did all the paperwork for you. So when you purchase from MedSpa, you just let me know. And if you're wanting to become a treatment provider, and then we can chat about getting you set up that way.
and Stephanie
And
and I,
of course, MedSpa carries everything that you need to get started. So they even have our bundles too. So
you do.
Yeah. We've got a question here too on acne and rosacea. Definitely a no on active acne. I
yeah, not on
as
active
far
acne.
as after a breakout, the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, any of that residual left over this is my go-to for after an acne breakout.
I would say
Yes.
if it's deep
And I
black,
even got one like right there and it's healed, but it left a nasty little dark
Mhm.
spot, little booger, but it happens.
I would say though,
But yeah, if it's active acne, no. But what they can do is they can actually use our Hydro Bright serum to help with hydrating and healing until it's under control. Once it's under control, then yeah, have at it with your skin wand. Rosacea, again, is something you don't want a skin wand until it's under control. And they can actually use our 24 karat gold to calm it, get that under control, and then go to town too.
yeah,
So,
I would
yeah.
if they have blackheads that have been in there for a while as a pro, I'm going to take and maybe do a little C2S, and then I'm going to take and go over that area. It's going to help to loosen up at the surface. So then when you extract out that blackhead, it's going to come out so much easier.
Yeah. All right, you done, Stephanie? Got
I
everything?
am. Yep. I didn't talk about it while I was doing it, but there was a request to see how I handle tech neck and the any wrinkling here on the neck. Same thing as on the forehead. I would go opposite the wrinkle, so they're going across this way, so I'm moving this way,
Yes.
and in little
And our
circles.
neck shows um, more of the um, inflammation. So you want to be kind of, cautious of that as well. Again, completely temporary. Um, but yes, so like my skin is reactive and my neck will always be like, remember when you just skin wanded me? And it like leaves all the memory of skin wanding. But calm it with, some 24 karat gold and yeah.
Okay. I had a question. It was, let's see, more penetration of product compared to microneedle. It's different. We hinted on this at the beginning.
Yes.
Nano or micro needling is going to puncture the skin with needles. It does create that channel, but at a much deeper depth, more for the treatment room, where nano channeling is going to push the serum in, but also create a micro injury. So the skin is going to respond with collagen production, all those healing things, but more at a surface level versus the microneedling. Microneedling has more of a downtime too, couple day recovery, where this is a couple minute recovery.
Yeah. And with, and of course, with needling, because of what you're doing, the mechanism in which you're creating, um, I like to compare it to aerating your grass, right? So you're creating plugs within the skin like you would your lawn, and just to allow that brand new baby skin to come about. Um, and of course, with needling, you're going to get quicker results, but you don't have to needle to get those results. Um, so yes.
Yep, that's
And,
exactly what I was going to
together
say.
with professional treatment and skin wanding, your clients can't go wrong.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
both certainly have their place, microneedling and nano channeling. But the way I explain it is nano channeling or microneedling and nano channeling will end up at the same point. It's just how quickly can we get there? Where microneedling is a little quicker, nano channeling is slow and steady, which I prefer. That's just my choice. I like to keep
Right,
it slow and steady with little downtime.
right. Yep,
Yeah, I like to use
yep.
other things too. So I like to use my microcurrent and then I and the micro channeling together. So those make a great combination together. So I get my ATP stimulated, but I don't need that big of an injury that then my clients have to take and deal with then a deeper injury to their skin.
Mhm.
So it's personal preference, but my preference is more do the microcurrent and the micro channeling for
Right.
home use together. And
Definitely.
that's something that as we did our microcurrent during COVID, so totally understand. And it really did help a lot of our SDs during that
Mhm.
time for them to have home devices that they could help with their clients. And it's funny, so how many of them came back when they could finally come back that said they could see a difference. And this is just with the microcurrent, but they could
Mhm.
see a difference for the ones that were using a home device versus that did nothing while during COVID that couldn't get back to them. So that they
Right.
could say their skin was still with the microcurrent home device. And that's the same thing with what we're doing here with the micro channeling. So having
Mhm.
devices not only created an income for some SDs to keep a living going and have
Right.
to pay rent and everything else during this time, it actually benefited their clients that couldn't get in to see them during that time.
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Yep. COVID was definitely one of those things that, all of us in the beauty industry had to think outside the box because it had never happened in our lifetime. And
No,
you don't think that your clients are going to go online
right, right.
and attempt to do something that only a professional should get their hands on.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but that all goes back to social media too. It's,
Having your device,
fighting a beast,
yeah, having
but
your device, they could zoom in with them or get
mhm.
so they could at least see each other. show them how to use it properly, even though we couldn't be in there with them, and still keep an income going and being helpful to their client's skin during that time. It was just a whole different experience in life. And I'm hoping we never have to go back to that ever again. Right. But if we do, everybody's going to be a little more prepared now if they do still, if they have other ways we have learned besides getting our hands on them, which was still the preferred, we get our hands on them. But also we found out, you know what, if we get them certain things at home that they're doing while we're doing this, it's not going to mean they're not going to come to you. They're going to come to you, even tell others, because they're getting results.
That's right. Yep.
They are chomping at the bit to know how you clean the tip.
Oh. So professionally, you change them out every time. And then for personal use, you can get up to 3 or 4 goes at it when you properly clean it. So the way I tell you to clean it, let me find my demo one. Yeah. Okay, so we know it's spring loaded, right? And what I need you to get is some good old fashioned dial soap, like the gold dial soap from way back when. And the reason why I recommend gold dial soap is if it's good enough to keep bacteria away from tattoos, it's good enough to clean your tip. Okay, because that's all is in it. It's just antibacterial. That's it. So you would put just a little bit on your hand right here, and then you let the water kind of drizzle down the other side of your hand, because you don't want to submerge the tip at all. Okay. But what you'll do, my hands are all slippy, is you push the tip to the front, and then you'll just swirl it around until all the gunk is gone and all the suds are gone. And then you can put it back in its nice little thing, but don't close it up, right? You still need it to get some airflow. So that's the easiest way to clean it.
What about, could we use a water pick?
You can, but you run the risk of it actually getting into the mechanism, or it sprays the plate off. And we don't want to do that because the plate is so tiny, you know?
Okay.
I do a little bit of a bounce in my fingers. Like I have the soap in there and I bounce it around a little bit.
There you go.
I always leave them to air dry upside down like this on a towel so that anything that runs out gets absorbed. But I haven't had any issues with cleaning these. They come super clean. And in fact, much more than I thought they would. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yes.
Cleaning process is way better than I expected. Question 4, can you use alcohol?
I wouldn't, only because that can actually start to degrade the adhesive on the plate.
What do you think about hypochlorous acid spray instead? Same concept, but less aggressive.
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet, because I know that's like the up and up. But let me try it out. Let me see. Let me test, and I'll get back to y'all on that.
We can send you some, if you want us to send you some to try and play with.
Hey, yeah,
we'll send it.
Yeah, but then like she said, in the treatment room, they are cost effective enough to use and throw away, be a disposable product in the treatment room. And as far as that, the tips for your client are rather affordable too. Retail would be $25 on those for 3 tips. So not only do you supply the device, the serum, and the tips, it becomes this residual income cycle for you as well.
And just because we have to on everything, do not submerge this into water, correct?
Yes, this
correct. Don't submerge that at all. Just take a good old Clorox wipe, or any type of antibacterial wipe, and just clean it that way. Yeah, don't put it in your wet sanitizers. Don't.
I'm just saying.
I know. We got to think of it. We got to think of it.
I know that all the SDs here are laughing because they know that they would never do that. but I'm just saying.
Somebody did.
Okay.
There was
Yeah.
a question on how often we can do it, 2 to 3 times a week at home. I usually land on about 2 times a week.
Hmm. Yep. 2 times a week, two to three. I've upped it to three finally after 4 years of having it. But again, my skin is weird. But yeah, you can up to 3 times. And you don't want to use it again with your like retinols. Be cautious with glycolics. But retinols on alternate days, beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful. I also some contraindications, like somebody who is on blood thinners. That would be a nah, probably not. Um, active cancer, active acne, active rosacea, um, open wounds. The general contraindications for really anything. And but yeah, once things are under control, or what have you, if somebody's on Accutane, they need to be off at least 6 months. Again, that's just because their skin is super fragile still. um but yeah.
There was another question about suggested price when you're putting it in the treatment room, and there really isn't an answer to that. Let's talk about the factors of the math problem. You would want to figure out about what 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes of your time costs. You would also want to factor in whatever serum you're using, like how much serum you're using. But that would be my general thoughts there versus just to charge this. Factor in your time of cost and the tip itself and your serum cost.
I always say
Mhm.
location is also a factor. For instance,
Yep.
some people will get in New York City, they're going to get 3 times as much as maybe if they were in Columbus, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference depending on where you're at, Columbia.
Definitely, definitely. And the demographic. um if have just the little old ladies that are wanting to just relax and stuff, you might not be able to be like, all right, Betty, let's get you nanoed. you she'll love it. But um versus like the youngins who are coming in now, who want what they're seeing on TikTok and all of that jazz. So there's so many factors that play into it. Here in Columbia, when I had my practice, it was I had my menu set up differently, though. There was only three choices for you. So there was the beginning or the consult, which gave you an observation facial, and then the second level, which got you, certain treatments, and then your third level. And this one sat in the third level because it was for more advanced clients. But yes, I charged 175 for a single nano, and then there was add-ons that could be also put in there. So
And that's another thing too. I find a lot of us now, we don't do like, I don't do a microdermabrasion treatment and I don't do a microcurrent treatment. Basically, I'm going to do whatever that I feel your skin needs and what we can do for X amount of price. And I don't divide it up into my devices versus my products or anything of that sort. I kind of cover it all with that price, and don't undervalue yourselves. I
that's
find
right.
that too often is that we undervalue ourselves, including myself at times too. Stephanie will tell you.
Well,
so, but you would be surprised, and especially if you're a solo esthetician, you can have your listed prices, and if you choose to give this one a discount because you know that they're going through cancer and have a lot of hospitals and whatever, you can adjust that. Now if you're working for a corporate type company, you may not have that opportunity or choice.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Because no matter what, and I saw the greatest example of this. I can't remember where I saw it, but you have the one person that walks in and, they're like, what's the minimum or whatever, and you give a price and they're like, oh, that's just too much. And she walks out. But then like five others come in who are totally cool with that, no matter what, always value yourself and your time because ultimately you paid for the education that you have in your brain that nobody can take away from you ever, right? And you might have, and when I mean by you paid for it, meaning you paid with, blood, sweat, tears, and a couple grand's worth of money, but that's always going to be something that can never be taken from you, and you should be extremely proud, um, and not prideful, just be very proud, and also making sure like that you're not going, well, the chick down the street does the same thing and she's only charging this, so I need to undercut her. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yep.
Because you have three choices, right? You have cheap, you have good, you have fast. If you want cheap and fast, it's not going to be good. If you want, fast and good, it's not going to be cheap, right? So,
I
yeah.
use the doctor that the med spa that I worked at many years ago. There's a new hairstylist that came to town, new cosmetologist, and he was charging at that time $100 for a haircut. And the average was probably 45, 35, 45 for the haircut. Well, for me, maybe I might have said, well, I'm just not sure I can afford to do that on a regular basis. However, the doctor, she said, must be good if they're charging that much. Book me an appointment.
Hmm.
So guess what? He only needed one of her versus three of me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. It's
Uh, we had a
crazy.
we had a comment here if we list the salons or spas that carry this. No. And I think the reason
Yeah,
why is it's meant to be very close knit. It's meant to be a conversation between you and your existing clients. It's not really meant to a device that you want to sell to someone off the street. It's meant to enhance the relationship that you've already established. So that would be why. It is a club. It is private. It is just through us, just through your
it's
esthetician to your
exclusive. Yeah.
client.
Now, if the esthetician wanted to sell the device on her website and do a Zoom consultation with them or something, would
hmm
you maybe
Yeah, I
have
wanted to hint on that too. We have a lot of estheticians that have moved to a virtual type business setup, and this
Yeah.
device certainly fits that model as well. You would just do what we're doing here, just a video
Yep.
chat with them to walk them through this. But this device is a little bit of hand holding, and you do want it to go to someone that you have vetted and know can incorporate it into their routine correctly.
Definitely. Definitely. And one thing with us too is everybody across the board is the same. So there's no guesswork um, on, what you would charge. So, um, and, the only thing we request is, if you have, before and after, send them our way, send them to Med Spa, like show off your work because, it's pretty awesome. And,
yeah,
kind of a big deal.
yeah, exactly. Show off your work, get that photo release from your client though.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And then yes, and then that way then we can tag you, and we don't mind doing that like on our social post, tagging them. I a cute esthetician, she from the weekend event, how she did with the Skin One Pro, I was a cute picture of her. So I I had to comment on it and say, "Can we post it too? Because it's just so cute. It looks so good." And she was, very happy with that. Yes, and
Yeah.
sure,
Did you see the one that I took? It was the exact same pose and everything from the picture that she posted. It's in the Dropbox that I sent for everybody who did get pictures
yeah.
over at our station.
You guys don't want to
Mhm.
miss our next events that we have, because there's a lot of cool things that happen in it, and like Dropbox, and we do share pictures. Everybody can share pictures too of the event and be able to get some social media out of it. We always try to do that too, so everybody can kind of pump up their socials with it too. good way to advertise and market.
Definitely.
Well, we will let you guys go. I know you guys got to get back. Thank you, Jessica, for joining
Thank you,
us.
Jessica.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Pam.
Again, if you guys have any questions, please call us, but they are available for purchase on the website right now. Go pick one up.
Thank y'all for having me. This was tons of fun. We
I
got to
know.
hang out again.
I know these are an hour and 15 minutes flew by. I love these little chit chat sessions we have. This is my favorite style, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too.
This is what we do.
I loved it.
If
So
we want to do a level 2, we'll do a level 2 together next.
Okay, thank you.
yes.
Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you,
love it.
Jessica. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Take
Thank
care.
you, Ruth.
See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.